Hold on. Marcus, you don't take your butt outside and drill that ball in the
Concrete, welcome to all ball. Format unique, all access for all y'all. What the spiel like that? Full of elite athletes that wanna teach and it speaks to the streets, so it feel right. Marcus Liberty, a legend on and off the court to give you what you need. Robert Reed is your co-host. Go. Yeah. Like and subscribe and follow like a crossover. Never know when might fall through this bitch tomorrow. So all ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All I know is all ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All ball Chicago. All I know is all ball Chicago.
Welcome to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All-American, your host, Marcus, living in the building. What's up, Marcus?
What's up, my beautiful people?
What's going on, big fella?
Man, dude, all is well, man, over here. Man, ain't no complaints. Just having a good time, enjoying life. Isn't that what it's supposed to be?
That's where it's supposed to be, man. Every day,
You know.
every day. Every time he's laying on these foots in the morning, man.
Man, we have to do a better job of that, man, as a people, right? That we let other people dictate how our day gonna go. And that shouldn't be the case.
No.
We can control what we can control, which is yourself.
Ultimately.
Make yourself happy, man. Be happy.
Choose happiness first. Choose it first. I agree, man.
Yeah,
I agree, man. That's actually, that's like setting your day, the tone for your day when you wake up. Initializing it, saying, hey, no matter what happens, I'm gonna have this type of day regardless.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And if you take that as your approach to your day, then when things come at you, you be like, you know what, this is a part of it. I'm just gonna keep going.
Man,
so that's what it
brush
is,
it
bro.
off your shoulders. Brush it off your shoulders, man.
Yeah, you're right,
That's all,
man.
It's
right.
It's a lot of people that let others, do that to them. Whether that's in sports or in life, in relationships, we can't let that one thing mess up our whole day. Can't do it. Can't do it.
That's right, man. So on this day, y'all choose happiness, choose your thoughts one thought at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself because sometimes we can be thinking about tomorrow. We're not tomorrow. You only hit it. You gotta worry about right now. You gotta worry about right now.
Facts.
So yeah, man. So you want to get on, man, because we was talking offline. You was like, you know what? I'm tired of people blaming it on the coaches. Because you're a coach.
Right. Yeah. It's difficult for coaches, that don't have that authority, and players sometimes can feel that. So when they do that, it tends to let the players run your practices and do other things that you may see and struggle with as a coach. And I just want, people to know that we definitely, on the coach's side too, because I know a lot of times because you played, I played, we always talk about, some of the coaches that we had in our lives of what they, did, and I just wanted to say I got the coach's side of it too, because, a lot of times it's not the coach's fault, sometimes it's, the outsiders that can disrupt, what you're trying to do with a certain player. And I just wanted us to talk about that. But before we get into that, Bob, let's talk about the young fella that was pulled over in Michigan and had, allegedly two guns was in the car found, right?
Right.
This kid was touted as the player coming out of high school, the player, the number one or number two, because he reclassed and he went up.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was in his class, he was number one. But when he reclassified and moved up, the big fella from Gonzaga was, the number one player in the country at the time. He was number two, Imani Imani Bates. What you think that what can we do as a people when you have that much pressure on you becoming that player, that number one, number two player? As it, do you feel that some of these kids they think they're invincible?
You know, I wish I could answer that question, man. I have not been in his shoes, but so I want to turn that question back over to you.
Okay.
You live that. You live that.
Okay.
So you know what that looks like, you know, as a young high school player. How did you handle that?
Well, for one, you have to have great people around you. I'm not saying good people. You got to have great people that understands how the movement looks, meaning you can't go out hanging around the wrong people. You know, you have to be almost like you're already there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Already there, meaning you're already in the NBA because of all the hoopla and all of the recognition that you're getting. You're pretty much already getting ready for that next chapter, right? So you have to surround yourself with good people, with great people. I mean, my bad, great people, right? That can tell you if you do this. I'm not talking about just basketball players. I'm talking about people that know their stuff, meaning they know how to mentor young people. And I had a father, I had an uncle, I had uncles, that was in my ear. I had my mom who was in my ear. I had friends that was in my ear. I had guys from the neighborhood that was in my ear. They all were telling me to stay on the right track. Don't let no one pull you to that left side of the track where things can go bad. So I had that. Some people don't have that. Some people go into this because this is a new era. This is a new generation of basketball it's looking like the money. You if you had a kid in the game, you can look at it as, man, he's got an opportunity to make $100 million, right? $100 million. And I'm not saying this is the case that happened to this young fella here, but if your parents are not on the same page, meaning I got to help nurture you to be the best person you can be, not the best basketball player, but the best person, meaning you have to treat this just like a business. You have to show up on time. You got to do everything you're supposed to be doing. You can't be hanging out late at night doing whatever. You have to stay on point because we need you to be ready for the next level. Because if you get these strikes behind you, I'm not saying it's over for him, but if you get those strikes behind you, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to convince people otherwise.
See, that's why I put it back on you, man. See, you just dropped it, bro. You lived it, man. And it's got to be a tough thing, especially nowadays, but like you say, 1 through 12, you had people surrounded around you. So, and it shows in your life after basketball because of the choices that you made after basketball. You didn't allow this or that to pull you in any direction. Why? An elite player like yourself who was in that limelight, I'm sure there was people around that was kind of shiesty too.
Yes.
Trying to slide you $2 here and there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, being for you to be able to do that and not go way in that direction because most of the guys did.
Yeah. And we have people
but
talking.
Imani Bates, man.
We have people talking too, Bob, that's on our timeline right now. Here go my man Ron Charles right here.
He should have stayed with Penny Hardaway to keep him in line. Him going home was bad for him. Wow. Yeah.
The pressure though, too, you got to look at it. I stayed home, right? I went to the University of Illinois. I stayed home and I've been through that, right? The pressure of you holding up, meaning, you want to be that guy And sometimes it doesn't work out for you right away. Like for me, it didn't work out for me soon when I got to the University of Illinois. For one, I was a Proposition 48. And then my second year, that's when we had that squad, that 89 team that we went to the Final Four. So the coach wasn't trying to break that up for a young guy who didn't play the freshman year. And then all of a sudden so I had to wait my turn, but that's hard for a guy who has all of the pressure that people put on you saying, why are you not doing this? Why are you doing this? So he probably was hearing that. And when you hear that type of stuff and you know what kind of player you are, but the coach is not ready to put you out there in the fire like he wants to, then it can break your spirit. And I think that's what happened for him. And then when you saw flashes of, good greatness coming from him when he was at Memphis. And I just hope that the young man, figures it out. I hope he gets the proper people in his life, meaning somebody who's been there and done that, right? That can communicate and he can hear it, and get it through to him that you're still young. You still know how to play this game, but you got to go in there with this kind of attitude. You got to come in there with the right attitude, and you got to be coachable. You got to be coachable.
The gun thing for me, man, is tough. It's a tough pill to swallow because culturally, us as people right now, we are under siege with handguns, right? So for a basketball phenom right now at this point, it puts a black eye on him to say, here we go, another black kid. This is what they do. He don't deserve it. But for me, I just like dude say he a hothead. I just think that maybe somebody put him before the egg. How the chicken before the egg. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he was just thrown in, like you pegged in as an NBA player, so his mind has not matured enough to understand the process.
And that's what I go back to saying. You need someone that been there and done that. You have a lot of great basketball players coming from that state of Michigan, right? That I'm pretty sure that would want to be a part in mentoring this young man. I can name one off the top: Derek Coleman, Steve Smith. It's a lot of great basketball players. George Iceman Gervin. He could reach out to his pops or someone in his circle, in his inner circle, can try to help him and say, you know what, let's do this, and help you understand what a professional basketball player looks like. Because you doing this on the collegiate level, you did it in high school, right? But the pros, is totally different. It's totally different. So you have to understand what that's going to look like and what it's going to take for you to get there, and not just get there, but stay for a very long time.
Your boy Hoop Baller Scoop he said, remember in ninth grade, he was predicted to be the number one pick.
I read that too.
That's tough, man. You still gotta wait 3 more years. How do you stay focused?
Well, you got to think about this too, Bob. It's not only his talent was, I guess, superb, right? He was really good in ninth grade. Maybe he was even really good in 8th grade, right? But when you start writing,
right.
Remember we talked about this on one of the shows about me, right? When people start writing things and all this great things about you, you start to believe them, right? And remember I said, my dad told me, don't believe everything that they write about you, right? Because as soon as they find out something wrong, they're going to tear you down, right? The media is not to be your friend, right? So if they see that you're doing great, sure, they're going to continue to write stuff, but you got to know who you are inside, right? You have to know who you are. Are you all about the likes? Are you all about, people, tweeting things, putting things back out there over and over again, all this good stuff about you, and you feeling good about yourself? Or are you saying, I don't need that. I know who I am. I'm gonna continue to work hard. I'm gonna continue to do what I need to do to be successful. I'm gonna be able to take care of my family if I do everything right. And I'm not gonna worry about what people say about me. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of kids now, especially with social media. We have social media that we can put things out, every 5 minutes if we want to, and get people inside, their lives pretty much.
Somebody said that he got exposed when he went to Memphis. When I put the post up yesterday, one of the people chimed in and said when he got to Memphis, he didn't realize how tough it was on that next level, because you're playing against guys 22, 23 years old, still in college, and they said that's why he struggled, because he didn't understand the nuances. Because what happened was, if we classed up, that means he was 17 years old in college, right?
Yep.
So now you're talking about motor and mental. Motor and mental is something that you just cannot teach. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that has to process. It's a process. Your mental and your motor skills, it's a process. You're just not going to get it. You can be raw as you want to be. Nothing wrong with being raw. But those little nuances that come with playing the game, it's a long time.
It's different, Bob. Like we always say, it's levels. It's a high school level. It's a college level. Once you hit the college level, all what you did in high school is over. Right. And now you have to figure out so I'll put it like this. High school, you just balling out, right? You got the right coach, you just balling out. Now when you get to college, it's a little bit more about details, right? Understanding the details of what a workout looks like, what time to show up. You got to be respectful. You got to understand what the coach is trying to get out there. He's not trying to just put you out there and score buckets every time. So he has a system that he wants to run. You got to understand the culture. Now, if you don't fit the culture, then now that's a problem. So it's a lot of things that go with it. It's not just hooping. It's a lot. And maybe that's what just happened with him at Memphis. We don't know. But I'm assuming, Penny Hardaway wanted things, Coach Hardaway wanted things his way. And maybe he didn't see eye to eye with that.
Yeah, it's a tough bill, man. It's a tough pill to swallow, because like you said, we wasn't there, and you always allude to it. The coaches got the greatest spiel in the world. They tell everybody what?
Man, shit, everybody great. Everybody. I want you to be here, man, because you the next great such and such, And then when you get there, it's like, I thought you said I was the next such and such. Because it looks good, right? It looks good if you get a number one player. It looks good if you get a top 10 player from high school in your program. So the school gets happy. You get more media attention. So I get it. I get it why coaches come and try to get those top dogs to come to their universities, because it brings more notoriety to the school. I get it.
Yeah, man, it's all a game that they play, and everybody's playing this game, and then the kid end up losing out in the end because those coaches are getting big fat checks. But we want to be in defense of the coach. Dude, you ready to shift over to that, man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's shift over to the coaches, man. And I'm talking about all coaches on every level: AAU, bitty ball, high school, all the way up into the professions, man. That we don't understand. Like, I'm just talking like I'm just a fan now of. We don't understand what the process of being a great coach is, right? So in my eyes, a great coach is not just teaching the game of basketball, but showing me, what that male role model looks like, right? And when you have a coach that can do that, like do the two, because most of the time it's only coaches can do one or the other, right? You don't get a lot of coaches that can do both. And I think when we have that, now you see more kids wanting to go play for certain coaches because now, and I'll say this, I think John Thompson from Georgetown was one of those coaches.
Everybody want to play for him, man.
Yeah. I think he was one of those coaches that could have been for this generation and still help this generation, because for one, he was a black figure, that people could respect and look up to and say, you know what? And he has the pedigree to go along with it, the players that he had that came through Georgetown, to help. And it's just, I don't think a lot of people understand what coaches go through, Bob. I don't think.
I mean, and basically on every level, though, man.
Yes.
Every parent wants their kid. I've been guilty of it younger, like I said, when I coach my sons and stuff and all that other stuff.
Right.
But you always think that your kid is way better than they really are. I mean, all parents think that, man, all the way through the process. It's just like you feel like the coach should give your kid the ball, man. And then you start calling the coaches and all that. And then like I said, I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore. Hey, man, you guys going to have to love it for yourself because every coach not wrong. You know what I'm saying? Right. Why is it that every coach you go play for, you can't seem to stay on the floor? You start out on the floor, but you end up off the floor. And I'm not just saying.
And we could talk about this coach right here, and we can stay on the topic of my man Emoni Bates, right?
Right.
He committed to Michigan State, right? He committed coming out of high school to Michigan State. Me personally, I think that could have helped him.
That would have helped him big time.
Because Tom Izzo was going to mentally challenge him.
Tough love.
Yes. He was going to give him that tough love. And this would have showed everybody, if he could hang with Izzo, that this man is ready for the next level.
Right. Because Izzo get in your face, man.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So
he's an old school coach. You're right.
So
why did he decommit? Well,
I don't know why, but I'm assuming they said he had a friend that was there, and I think the friend decommitted too.
Oh.
And I think he wanted to go play with his friend, and I think that's what happened, right? But back to what I was saying, Izzo, he didn't play.
Right.
Oh, okay. Here goes somebody. They said this is why they think Emoni didn't go.
Oh, wow. Money Bates didn't go because he's known for holding the stars down. Oh. See, we don't know nothing about that.
Well, no, I've heard that before, that coaches do that. I'm not saying, Coach Izzo, but you look at his track record, he didn't go get a lot of one and dones.
Right. You're right.
He had the players that fit his mold, right?
Right.
But to get somebody like Emoni Bates to come to your program, that's special though. The kid was top 2 in the country.
Yeah, and then you know what? It hurt him. It didn't hurt Izzo at all, because like you say, you come from a program like that, not knocking Penny, but you at home, you talking Izzo, legendary Hall of Fame coach. Man, he gonna make sure you get there. You just gonna put in the work. He not gonna hold you back. I don't think so though. But you say you heard of that though.
Yeah. I mean, certain coaches like Izzo is a defensive, tough-minded coach.
Right.
He'll let you play on the offensive end, but it's structure. It's a lot of structure, right?
Okay.
So if you're not ready for that, then yeah, it's gonna be hard for you to play for Izzo, Coach Izzo. Now, Penny Hardaway, Coach Hardaway in Memphis, on the other hand, Emoni and his, people probably said, he fits you. He fits your style. He was you,
that's what they was thinking.
That's what I'm assuming, because
right.
Penny was a point guard. I think Emoni, was on the perimeter a lot. He can handle the ball. So I think they were looking for Coach Hardaway to see if he can, get this kid to where he needs to be.
Wow.
And it's
Yeah.
unfortunately that it didn't work out that way, because I would love to have Penny Hardaway on the show and we talk about, what happened, because I think a lot of times if we express and not bash the kid or the kid bash the coach, but let's see what we need to do, because maybe you can help somebody, understand how to pick the right coach or how to pick the right player.
You know,
You know,
I just think that what happens is we all have to be realistic in what we're looking for with basketball and understand that when we go to these schools, it's 10, 12 other kids on the team, So it's just not going to be about you. Everything that you will have to work for, man. That's
yes.
it, right, Marcus? If you're
Yes.
going out there kicking butt on defense, running down, scrapping down balls, getting rebounds and stuff like that, like the stuff that don't show up in the stat book is what keeps you on the floor. I
Right.
think everybody wants the ball to be handed to them. And that's the culture that we're living in now, man. If they can't get it, if you can't spoon feed them, they transfer them. Man. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just hope that the kid gets through it and he get a chance to live his dream of playing professionally, because he definitely deserves that opportunity.
Wow. Just reading this.
What?
A kid from UCLA, breaking news, man. He just passed away at age 22 from UCLA.
What happened?
They're not saying what really happened. They said he passed, I want to say in China.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. Let me see.
Oh, they
True.
did. They didn't disclose anything that what really happened. He was missing. He went missing in Costa Rica.
Oh, damn. What's his name?
Jalen Hill.
Jalen Hill. Okay, yeah, I just saw his face pop up in my timeline.
So that's give our condolences, man, to the family of this young man. Man, it's hard, man. He was in the backcourt with no, he played with the ball. Oh, he was one of the three players that committed to UCLA. Remember when LiAngelo Ball and Cody Riley went? So he was the third. He was the third guy that committed to UCLA. Man, dude.
Wow.
So man, prayers goes to the family, man, because I know how it's hard losing a sibling, a child that's yours. So my condolences goes out to the Hill family.
Wow. Wow. Monty Bates, remember, had a back injury and left the program for a month and came back for a tournament. Monty should have stayed. He would have been fine. He was 18. I agree, man. I definitely agree with that. I think that, like I say, we're in a microwave culture. Everybody's leaving. The transfer portal is wide open. Man. Robert Liv, have you ever had problems with a high school coach in terms of getting held back, or did your parents ever have problems with any of your coaches? That was a story of my life, man, playing high school. When I first got to high school, before I even got out of grammar school, because my style of play, coaches, man, it was too fancy. So everywhere I went, even when I went to Mendel as a freshman, Mike Flaherty, I was on a full scholarship there. It was just like, man, they had me out there like, damn, I'm like, dude, you just seen me killing these boys. You know what I'm saying? You bring me here. I should have went to Markham because, like I said, Markham, I believe, because they let me play with them in the summer league when I coming out of 8th grade. So I should have went there. But yeah, everywhere I went. And then when I went to Simeon, I'm in practice with them. And I'm just like, I'm no disrespect to Simeon and none of the guys, man. And I just speak truthfully. I was pretty good. And Hamburg didn't allow me to get to that point, and it was a turnoff there, and I just stopped going to practice. So basketball for me was stolen from coaches who just didn't understand. And maybe it was my fault, but I was a fancy basketball player. I was really fancy with it. So I didn't have fun at the grammar school. At the grammar school, basketball was total unfun for me, unless I played in the streets.
And that goes back to what I was saying. You got to make sure you pick the right school and the right coach, because it looks like from what you're saying, you had that flashy, that charisma about you when you went on the court that, you know, I'm smooth with it. I got the nice crossover, the killer crossover handles, you know, I get to the basket, you know. So when you have a coach that tries to dummy that down and say, no, you can't be that, you got to be this way. That's why I said you have to make sure you pick the right schools, you know, as well as the coach, because the coach already know what he's going to do. He's not changing. And I tell people that all the time. You got to make sure when you look for the right school, not just the right school, you got to make sure it's the right coach, you know, for your child. And me personally, I picked two great schools. You know, I went to Crane High School, Crane Tech High School on the west side my freshman year. Mr. White was a great coach. You know, he let me play my game, right? He let me play my game. Then I got recruited to go to King High School, and Sonny Cox the same way. Mm-hmm. So I had two great coaches, you know, that not only enhanced what I wanted to do, right, but let me
encouraged you to do it.
Let me be who I am, you know.
Man.
And I think, you know, that within itself is special to have a coach. Even though he might have had a certain system, he let me play outside that system. And I think we hear this from coaches, and I heard this from Mark Jackson, you know, that Lou Conasecca did this. He had great coaches around him, but he was the head coach. And he said he could not let players who he recruited, especially out of New York City, be something they're not. He said, you're going to be who you are, and it's up to me to enhance that.
Right. That's it, man. That's it. Because so many coaches back then, they felt like it was hot dogging, you know, when you're coming down, crossing people over and doing all that freaky stuff, behind the back pass and all that. Why, sorry for asking too many questions, but why do every hooper or most, when they don't make it, say it's politics? Can it be some of them who wasn't good enough? Thoughts? Absolutely.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even say not good enough. It's just, it's not a lot of jobs in the NBA. You know, we have more basketball players than more jobs, you know, for the NBA.
It's 450 jobs.
Right.
And you got 60 that come in the draft every year. So you might have 30 guys leave every year out the league, maybe.
But back to his question, the politics, like people always, he's right. People do say it was the politics. It was the politics, you know. Maybe it wasn't the right time. Well, maybe the timing was wrong, you know, because politics, and I'm just thinking of ownership, right? Zion Williams has 1 million followers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Joe Smo over here only has 500 followers. Joe Smo putting up numbers. He's at a small mid-major school. Zion is where? At Duke. Right? With 1 million followers.
Right, right.
Who you think they're going to choose?
They're going to go get this guy with this 1 million followers.
That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you say that's politics? Because the guy was still putting up the same numbers on the other end. So Chris got a point. I mean, well, Chris, I don't think Chris is going with the politics side, but I'm saying it could play a part in it.
Right.
It could play a part in it.
Well, like you said, the whole social media thing with all the following and all that got a lot to do with the way that they
Yes.
recruit nowadays, because they want to sell paraphernalia. They want
And
not
tickets.
paraphernalia. Now, memorabilia, not paraphernalia. Memorabilia.
Right. They
Yeah.
want to put people in the seats. They want to sell their product, meaning t-shirts, hats, hoodies, uniform, jerseys, the whole nine, right? So they get 1 million followers who was following that kid. Now they become the university fans.
Mm-hmm.
Now they buying all
Right.
the merchandise.
Right.
So it could go that way, right? But yeah, we do, Chris. We do say it a lot. It's the politics, man. The politics, man. The only reason why I didn't make it, man, because it's the politics.
No, I wasn't no politics, man. It's only so many jobs.
There's only so many jobs, but at the same time, sometimes you may have to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? Maybe the NBA is not for me. Maybe I need to go overseas and do what I need to do to support myself, right? Because you got to make money. You're not playing the game once it gets to that professional level just to be playing. You're playing it because you want to check. You want to get some money in your pocket. You want to get money in your bank account. You want to be able to buy your house. You want to be able to support people that you love. So you can go play basketball overseas.
Yeah. They said
on any level.
Ryan Boatwright just signed a new deal overseas. Somebody said, congrats to Chicago very own Ryan Boatwright. Saw he signed with someone overseas. Yeah, he's been over there for a minute, man. He's been over there, I think 8 years now. He's been doing this thing over there too.
Right. Well, congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Because the main thing is, man, you want to be able to support yourself and your loved ones. And if that means you have to go across the water to make some dollars and put some money in your bank, man, then do it. Then do it. It's like I told my nephew too. I said, man, I don't want you to hang your head on, just playing in the NBA. I know that's everybody's dream. But if you do everything right, someone is going to like you. Someone is going to offer you. Someone, and I'm not saying just in the NBA, it could be anywhere. And then you have to sit down and talk with your team of what your next step will be.
See, I tell you, man, it's one thing about it, man, with the level where he is, going overseas couldn't hurt. Because you go over there and harness your skills, get your skills, sharpened and come back, because, man, shoot, them overseas boys make good paper.
Yep. But you can have some not so good coaches over there.
Right.
I'm a living witness of it. I'm a living witness of not having a great coach. And it wasn't a perfect fit for me,
Wow.
But if you get the right coach, and believes and want to help you be, the best basketball player you can be, then yeah, it can happen. But that's why we talking about what we talking to about coaches versus players. You notice that we said coaches versus players. Sometimes, it can be, switched around that the player is doing everything. I did everything on my part to make it work, to make it, to be a coachable kid, listening to the coach. And I said this, and I hope our listeners understand. I had a coach, and I was playing over in Greece, and he would never coach me in practice. Never coach me in practice.
Wow.
So he said this, man, why come you play like an all-star in practice, but in the game, you give me nothing? And here's my response. Well, you're supposed to coach me in practice. You're supposed to let me play in the game.
Right.
You're trying to coach me, knowing I never heard you say anything about this, me doing these certain moves in practice.
Mm-hmm.
But soon when I get on the court and start doing it, oh, take him out. Oh, put him in. Oh, take him out. Oh, you can't shoot. Oh, so started
Dang.
playing mind games.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, and I just couldn't deal with the mind games, man. I couldn't, you know. So you have coaches that will do that. So my like how I teach, and I'm pretty sure a lot of coaches would do the same or doing the same. When you are running a basketball program and you are the head coach, all your work should be done in practice. All your work should be done in practice. That's why you have a schedule. That's why you have a breakdown of what are you going to do that day.
Right.
Right. So when you go to the game, you already prepared them for it because you did it in practice. Now, sure, you're going to call them timeouts and draw up some certain plays in certain situations, but to try to do all the coaching in the game, it's not enough time. It's not enough time. So coaches, we love you. We want the best. Be prepared. Preparation when you get into practice, making sure what are you going to work on? What are you going to do? And lay it all out for that week and get these kids better.
That's real.
We got to,
That's
Bob.
real. That's
Like,
real.
and it's some coaches that don't do that. And those are the coaches that kids probably end up leaving.
And you know what? One coach, what I don't like to see coaches do during games is embarrass their team by making them run suicides at halftime. You ever seen the coach do that?
I heard about it. But I have never seen it in person.
I've seen it in person a couple times. Team getting their butt getting killed, getting their heads beat in by a better team, and the coach feel like he want to embarrass his team and make them run. That's when I know we messing with a rookie coach, because now that's a level of humiliation, you know.
And it makes it all about them too. Like when certain coaches do that. I like to put conditioning in, into my practices, but I don't make it like it's a punishment. I don't make it like it's a punishment. I make it like it's what you need. Your endurance. You need to be able to get up and down the court. You have to be in good shape to play this game. Can't be out of shape and play this game. So you have to just understand what it's all about.
Latasha Moore say 5 P's: proper preparation prevents poor performance.
And you do that where?
Old school.
Latasha, where you do it at? You do that in practice.
Yeah.
You have to, and that's what I say. Some people say they want to be coaches, right? But they think coaching is just rolling the ball out.
Yeah, and standing up there like they know every damn thing.
Yeah, it's not that. Now, the ones that do all their coaching, they do stand like that. There's some that do stand like that, because I did my work in practice. So now, guys, let's go out there and do it.
Mm-hmm.
But
you shouldn't do nothing but have to call timeouts to get a blow and stop runs and stuff like that.
And that's what I said. In certain situations, you want to draw up a play. That's what it is. But we don't because I'm putting that hat on too, because I'm a coach. I let my players play, but at the same time, I want to let my players know that if you do something wrong, I'm calling time out, to explain what we need. Because I'm coaching young kids. I'm not coaching high schools. I'm not coaching kids that got bad habits. I'm keeping these young kids from getting bad habits. So if I call a timeout and I'm explaining to you that this is what you should have done in that situation, I'm only there to try to help you. I'm not trying to tell you don't. Like if you see somebody open ahead of you and they got an opportunity to make a layup, you should pass that ball.
You got to pass that ball.
You know, so I say things like that, man.
Somebody asked a question. They say, Marcus, do you think it's easier or harder to train and teach players today? I know you work with kids. Do you
Is
see
it
that question?
some kids? It is. It is hard to get across to them because for one, they already think they're good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so when you show some basic stuff, which I do, I like to show basic stuff to see how you master the basics. But a lot of
Mm-hmm.
kids can't do the basic because they already skipped the basic process,
Right.
right? So when they skip the basic process, it's hard for me to reach them because they're gone. They're
Mm.
far gone. You know, I don't want to do that. I want to dribble behind my back 5 or 6 times, and then I want to go between my legs with a heads up. You know, and I'm like, well, son, you got to understand this first. You got to understand your shoulders, how it's supposed to be moving when you dip. You standing up and just give me all that. But if I have a Patrick Beverly guarding you and you standing straight up like that, but you got the handles and he put that bar arm on you and you can't move, now what?
Right.
So I try to teach them getting that athletic stance, you know, and make
Get
sure,
low.
yes, make sure that you are what my coach used to always tell me, the low man wins.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You're right.
so I try to teach that. Oh, we got another question from young Kiki.
Fellas, what do y'all think about the WNBA finals? First of all, I think it was great, but second, I think that they had it during the NFL. They shouldn't have played it that Sunday, NFL Sunday.
I think it would have definitely had more people watching it too.
Yeah, because I mean the girls was bowling during the playoffs,
They
off the
were.
charts, bro.
And
I'm
that
talking
and I
about
had them, right? I had them winning it. You go ahead and say it.
you have you did, yeah, you did.
Man, them girls, hey, girls basketball is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love watching girls hoop. For one, I got some girls in my program.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of use this a lot when I teach my boys. Girls pay much attention to details than boys. Like if I tell the girls, I need everybody on the baseline. These girls are behind the line and waiting for instructions. I tell the boys the same thing. One of them on the line, one of them over there on the side with his, hands on his hip. The other one is like, I ain't even looking at him. These girls sometimes they get it, and boys don't. You know, that little small little detail shows me that they are ready to go to work. When you have people not understanding what you're trying to do, just like when you blow the whistle and you have stations set up, Bob, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I blow that whistle, you should be getting to those stations. You shouldn't be walking to those stations.
Yeah.
Again,
you got to bust your butt there, man.
Again, small details plays a big part of how you win ball games.
Hey, listen, man, I want to just give a shout out. Kiki, that was I'm glad you mentioned the WNBA because I had not really watched Chelsea Gray until they played against until the club finals kind of started, the final 4 or 6 teams. And this girl Chelsea Gray is just a pro.
The real deal. The real
just
deal.
A pro's pro, man. And she was the finals MVP. And I was like, I'd never seen anything like it. Like I said, the last person I seen like that was Maya Moore, right? And she's gonna be something to handle, man, moving forward.
Confidence, man. You can see it. You
can
see it. And Coach Becky Hammond gave her the 4 ring. Like, do your thing. Do you. Like you my coach out there on the floor. So when you see something that's not going right, I trust in you that you're gonna make it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kiki, that was bogus, man, that they had the games on doing football. And you know what? I guarantee you they caught a lot of flack for that because nothing can compete with NFL football other than NBA basketball. You know what I'm saying? Those two, they can kind of compete with each other, because there's a lot of basketball players who love people who love both. Remember, Gray played and won a title with Candace Parker in LA in 2016. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't know that.
I did. Yeah, it's wonderful, man, to see the first professional championship being played, and they brought the title back to where? Las Vegas, Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Gambling capital of the world.
Yes, indeed. Entertainment.
I wonder, is it next going to be a NBA team in Las Vegas?
But you know that LeBron and his investment group, they've been talking about it, man. If anybody can pull it off, Lebanon James can definitely pull it off.
Wow. Wow.
I can see that happening.
Wow.
What else? We got any more questions up there?
Let's see.
On the ticker.
Yeah. First of all,
hey, y'all, this is the last. Let me see. This is the last 10 minutes of the show. Ask Marcus anything. Shoot.
No, don't ask me anything.
Well, not anything.
Please don't ask me anything, because you will not get a response, man, because I do not.
A lot of coaches these days like to collect the best talent and just roll the balls out. You see the lack of fundamentals and IQ in these players. Well, you know what? I think it's kind of it's starting to change a little bit more now, because after we watched Glenbard West this year, was that Glenbard West that won the state title here in Chicago? They played so fundamentally sound. I think most coaches are going to go back to the drawing board. You know.
You think so?
Yeah.
The IQ and the fundamentals is so important in basketball, you know, and most of the time, us as athletes, we don't think the game as it should be. We just want to play the game. Right. But I think when you start getting out there and you start seeing pieces and how they're supposed to move and where they're supposed to be at, and if they're not there, then you can help that guy, you know, understand, if I drive that way and your man comes and close that gap, you got to be ready to shoot that ball. Right. Or if your man turns his head and you still standing in that same spot, I got to tell you, you should have cut. You should have cut. So those type of things that you do in practice, right? But you also do it in your video sessions,
right?
You know, helping, you know, the kid understand what he did wrong. Because I didn't have some coaches too that the video session was just to bash, you know, the players, tell them how bad they were, you know. And I think you have to also show the good in their videos of what, you know, your team looked like, you know, not just, you know, challenging and I'm not even saying challenges. Sometimes coaches just want to put players down, beat them up, and just keep them there.
Right. They coaching them down instead of coaching them up.
Right. So we have some coaches like that. Okay, Rob, here goes one for you.
Robert, don't be offended. This is all in fun, but I said, watching your page, you're a big freak still, huh? No, dog. Actually, man, most of I'm big on entertainment, right? And I have to explain this to people. Like, growing up, I was always infatuated with Jet Beauty of the Week. I always just admired, you know, the way that Bob Johnson did that. And I was just like, you know what? I think going into Chicago Millionaires Entertainment, my brand, I want to feature beautiful women, bro. So that's what I do, man. It's nothing wrong with it. The art, it's art.
Right.
So anytime you see me on something else, you know it's all entertainment. It's nothing malicious.
Right.
And it's all good. Right. I see you be watching there, run.
But that has nothing to do with All Ball Chicago. That's Robert's other side. You know, he's a man with many hats, right? He got many hats that he does. But all in all, man, coaches need to be coaches, but they also need to be coaches in practice. You know, they need to start developing kids in practice. Let's talk a little bit about what you think is going to happen with. Let's start with Brooklyn. We'll just talk about Brooklyn. What you think is going to happen with the Brooklyn Nets? Oh, wait, let's hear that one first. Let's do that. Let's dive into this one first.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see the new NBA rankings? Giannis number 1, Steph number 2, Durant number 3, and they got LeBron James number 7.
Who is 4, 5, and 6? Who is 4, 5, and 6? Who ball and scoop?
I don't know, but let's talk about those 3 right quick. Do
you agree?
Do you agree? Do you agree with that, though?
Yeah, yes, I do. I definitely believe that those 3 right there are the best players in the NBA. I think LeBron should be number 4, though. I really believe that. I don't know who you could put in front of LeBron. But those 3 right there, they're still young enough and still getting it done.
Yeah, I probably would have put Durant number 2. You know, even though Steph did win a championship, but I probably would have put Durant number 2. Just because of his skill set. I like his skill set. Giannis, he's just a beast. I mean, he's a beast. He's going to play hard on both ends of the court. So I think he's well deserving of that number 1 spot.
You know, they got
Ron said, why do you think, Robert, that LeBron should be number 4? This is what
LeBron, man. I mean, LeBron right now, man, he's a living legend, man. We are actually watching what greatness is all about. You remember ever seeing that with Michael Jordan? They be showing Mike, they be like, we're watching what greatness is all about. LeBron James, man, the guy's career has been stellar. This year, he's going to break Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all-time lead scoring record, and they say he's not a scorer. So, LeBron, we just got to give it to him, man. He definitely should be in that top 5, top 4, man. You got to give it to him.
So that's why you say he should be in the top 4, right? Because
he's a legend, man. Been in the finals 9 straight years. Took the 3 Stooges to the finals, man, over there in Cleveland when they ain't had nothing.
Right.
I mean, the man, he deserves it, man.
Yeah.
Who would you put in there, Lid?
I mean, I'm thinking probably Joker somewhere in there from Denver. I'm assuming he's probably 4, 5, or 6, one of those, because he just won MVP again. You know,
I can go with that. I
mean, Booker has to be somewhere in there, probably.
I'm not putting Booker over Bron, though. That's like, man, Michael Jordan in his heyday, man. Bron is the man in the league, actually.
So Ron got another good point, Bob, because that's what I was going to say, but he beat me to it. He says, you going on his past, right, his body of work. They talking about these guys for this coming year, that where they ranking him.
Let's see what LeBron averaged last year.
Yeah, find out. I think LeBron probably put up some of his best numbers last year.
I'm saying, man, and this man is 36 years old. 36, 37 years old, man.
But this is what he said.
He averaged 31 last year, man. 31, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 steal last year. Come on, man. That was MVP. The Lakers just wasn't no good.
Right.
But we know he's great, but he is a scorer because he shot the ball the most. But we talking for this year, not this past year. We yet to see what happens. He was 5th in scoring last year.
That's what Kevin A was saying.
But they say, he averaged 31, 7, 6, and 1.1 steal last year.
Right. I don't think the question is that. I'm thinking more so, you know, what they talking about for this year. What is the top, maybe it's the top 10 players that they chosen this year. And 7 for LeBron James' age is still great, you know. There go right here. Here go all the people right here.
Put them up. Okay, Jokic, Embiid, LeBron, Kawhi Leonard, Tatum, Jimmy Butler, and the rest of the list. Oh, okay, okay. Well, I could go with that. Okay, I'm cool with Embiid and Jokic in there.
Right.
I'm
Right.
cool with that
That's what I'm
because they've
saying.
been
That's,
killing. They've been
uh,
killing
you got to think though, Bob. LeBron James been in the league how long?
20 years.
And he probably was that top dog for at least 10, 12, or 14 of those, probably.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know, there's a top dog. You know, top 10, still in the top 10 at his
that's crazy.
age and the
That's
years that he
crazy.
played, that's remarkable, man. You know, so no, we can't knock that. We can't knock that. I'm excited though, man. I want to see what Brooklyn's gonna bring to take. Is my man gonna play this year? Is Ben Simmons gonna play this year?
That's gonna be nasty when he do.
I like the kid. I
He gonna
like
play
Ben
this
Simmons.
year. I think they shaping their ship over there in Brooklyn. Like I saw Stephen A. Smith, one of them say, and Kendrick Perkins them say that it's gonna be Brooklyn and the Lakers in the finals.
Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll see.
But you picked Denver, remember?
Yeah. Hey, I said Murray's coming back. That's the reason why I said Denver. And if the other kid comes back who was hurt too last year, what was his name that went to Missouri? He was the number one player coming out of high school too. Wait, Kevin, I think. Oh, Porter? No, Porter. Yeah, Porter. If Michael Porter comes back and do what he need to do, I think Denver's going to be in good shape. Lakers in the finals. They be saying anything. Clippers or Warriors versus the Milwaukee Bucks or Nets to me.
Okay, he said Bron been in the league 19 years, Liv.
Right. Yeah. Kevin says he thinks he'll play. I think Kyrie out of there. So he's saying he thinks Ben Simmons is going to play, and he thinks Kyrie will be out of there via trade. He's a free agent next year, and they won't put up with his mess.
I don't think Kyrie will ever get another big payday, Liv.
Why? Because of
It's antics, man.
mm,
Everywhere he go. Now, come on now. You fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. You know how that phrase goes.
right. Right. I get it.
But his antics, man, everywhere he go, it's something. You was in there with Bron. You left Bron in Cleveland. You went to Boston. You couldn't make it in Boston. You left Boston, went to Brooklyn. Now you want to get out of Brooklyn, bro. He gonna end up in the soda pop.
Mm.
But
isn't this what the lead is all about now, though? Come on,
the league.
You can't knock him for moving around because that's what these players are doing. Kevin Durant left a good situation and went over to Brooklyn. He was there. So players are moving a lot, Bob. There's a lot of so you can't just penalize him because of what he did.
Hey, you see that question that Pooh put up?
Yeah, I see it right now. I'm going to say.
Question: why y'all think Kyrie Irving is like this? He's too talented to not get a big contract, right? Like we were saying, man, would you hire somebody that you don't know if they're gonna come to work? You know what I'm saying? Like when he come to work, he tough, but is he gonna come to work? I'm sorry, man.
But we have to get to the root of why. Like we have to think about why he's not coming to work, right? Because he's been injury prone for a while to me.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play that much he was with Duke in college. I don't think he played. Has he? I could be mistakenly wrong. I don't think he played a full season You
I
know,
do.
since he's been in the NBA, he has, you know, that as some could be some issues. But when he's on the court, skill wise, I don't think it's no one better.
There is no one better.
There's no one better. So I think the organization has already communicated with him, and they already didn't, you know, said, let's go for this championship this year. If we can do it, let's do it now. And then if everything pans out, we'll give you that dough. We'll give you that dough.
He gonna be just like my man that turned down that 80 million in LA that year. And betted on himself. What was his name?
Well, he's back with the Lakers now.
Yeah, for $2 million.
Yeah. Schroeder.
Yeah. Can we talk about that right quick? The me and you had a difference in opinion on that, but I think we kind of got the message. May have gotten it mixed up a little bit. But remember, I was saying it's hard to leave that kind of money on the table to go chase championship rings. Because look at Oladipo. He left $120 million on the table in Indiana to go play in Miami for like $3 million to try to win the title. It's hard to recoup that money, man.
Oh, but I'm not saying that, Bob. If they offer you a contract, I'm not saying turn it down. I'm saying if you're a free agent and you don't have no money and you can pick, you know, where you need to go, then yeah, I'm going to play for somebody that's going to help me win a championship. But if you got $120-something million on the table, and then you don't know what's out there for the team that got you can pay you probably the most. So why would you not want to play for that team? You know, unless you already got all the money in the world, which we highly doubt it. That these
right? Hey man, we just got to make good business decisions, man, when it comes to this. How you feel about Damian Lillard never leaving to win titles? Hey, look, in the world that we live in today, it's all about making money. And who's to say where could he go? Like, where would you put Damian Lillard? We said about Boston, right?
Yeah, it's hard to really say because Dame, he's been loyal to Portland since day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's letting everyone know I ain't chasing rings. If I can't win it where I got drafted at, and if they decide to trade me, so be it. But I'm showing you that I'm loyal to them. And I want to win here. This is where it started for me. I want to win here. I came from a mid-major program to in the NBA. I'm not about to be one of those players that's going to be bickering like, man, I need to win a championship to solidify how great I was as a basketball player.
Right. Now, I like that perspective better because ultimately it's all about staying on your job and retiring, right? I like his perspective, man. I like it, man. I think more players need to look at it like that. Like Zion Williams and all of them guys. They young, though. And I know, excuse me, he got all the money, but do he want a legacy? Oh, he'll have a legacy. He'll have a legacy of being a long time Portland Trailblazer.
and his family will be taken care of forever.
Right. Ever.
That's a legacy, a family legacy right there that I'm making sure that my kids are straight. You can go buy you a championship ring.
Yeah.
You can go buy you a champion. But I get what Pooh's saying though too. But it's some players, it's only one championship, right? A year. You know, that has 15 to 17 players on it that will enjoy that. What are you going to do with the rest of the teams? Do they supposed to say, you know what, you know, I'm down and out because I didn't win the championship? No, they looking at it like, you know what, this is a job. I mean, I'm doing something I love. I'm able to take care of my family, right? And I love this game. Right. And someone's going to lose every year. It's going to be teams that lose every year. You know, and then some teams are loaded with a lot of superstar players. Yeah. He doesn't have that, right? So he wants, and this is what I'm assuming, he probably says, I want y'all to come and play for me. Come play with me over here in Portland. You know, I'm not going to knock a trade, or if someone wants to come and play with me because they feel that we can win a championship, why not that? Why not that happens? Why he has to go chase something?
I tell you, man, it was like you said, the key thing that you said early on was he came from a mid-major. Weber. There ain't too many players knocking down the door in the NBA out of Weber, man. So
and played for that long of a time,
right.
I mean, that's remarkable within itself, man.
That's why he's looking at this as a blessing. I like the mentality. That lets you know he's grateful for where he is, man, and not looking at what everybody else is doing. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get to one more minute, then we get up out of here.
Okay. Before y'all leave, Liv and Rob, how do you feel when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors? Did you hate it or did you feel him? Do his titles have an asterisk by it? You know, in the moment when he did it, I was kind of like, Dad, how you going to go to a team that just beat you? But then looking at the totality of it, Golden State was not ready to dethrone a Kyrie, LeBron James team because that was just too much. They needed Kevin Durant to get over that hump against that Kyrie, LeBron arsenal over there.
Right.
What you got?
No. I think you're on point with that one, man. The Golden State, if they didn't have Kevin Durant, they wouldn't have won those championships. You know. So now that was a good fit for them. I just wish he would have stayed, me personally, because I think, man, they could have won at least 3 more. Right? At least 3 more.
They definitely could have if they would have just I just think that Kevin Durant had enough. And it just lets you know that winning titles isn't always everything if you're not happy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
do you know Pooh?
No, I don't know Pooh, but Pooh, man, make sure you go follow me, man, on Facebook, Robert Bobby Reed. Follow me on TikTok too, Robert Bobby Reed.
Oh man. So, I mean, Milwaukee is still Milwaukee, man. I mean, as long as they have Giannis and my man Holiday playing good defense, and I think they have Middleton coming back too, if he's fully healthy. I think Milwaukee's going to be some problems for a lot of teams too when playoff time comes around.
I like the way the Milwaukee's going to retool. They'll be back in the hunt. It's right now, we don't know. Right now, if you have to pick a team today, you would have to say the Clippers will be
out of the West. Out of the West or overall?
Overall.
Oh, wow.
Because you got John Wall, you got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard. Paul George ain't a dog, but he a killer, right?
Right.
But Kawhi Leonard and Paul and John Wall, they both dogs. So now Paul George don't have to be a dog. He could just be pretty boy Paul. A jumper. Sweet. Oh, pretty boy P out there. So yeah, man.
PG, baby. PG. No, I'm excited about this NBA season, man. And we gonna be tuned in, coming back, talking about what we saw when it happens. But I just think, Bob, Pooh must know you.
Pooh, man, follow me on Instagram, Shy Millie.
Pooh keeps saying, no, I don't. But I think Pooh knows you.
No, he don't know me. No, I don't know you, Pooh. But Media Day is September 26th.
Pooh might be from the Wild Hundreds, man.
Pooh, send me a friend request on Facebook, Robert Bobby Reed, man. Make sure you follow me on TikTok, Robert Bobby Reed, man. I be singing, man. I can sing. Hey, make sure y'all swing over to the website, www.culturedevices.com. Get that social distance device. I got the black ones on the way. I got the black ones. The black one's gonna be dope. Make sure you get that device, man.
Culture device.
How you not gonna go ahead?
No, go ahead. Read that.
How you not gonna pick the champions, Robert? I feel don't like the Warriors. He made that statement that Tatum and Brown better than Curry and Thompson. They're gonna take me to hell.
Who
Hey.
ball the scoop? I always said,
Hey, who
because
ball the scoop?
You touched something right there when he said, you said that about them boys, man.
Hey,
Brown
bro.
and Tatum, that they were
Hey,
better
bro.
than those.
Hey, bro. Tatum and Brown, they tuck their tail, boy. You let me be 6'6", 6'7" out there with Steph Curry. Now watch what I do to him. Move. What you gonna do? Barbecue it, baby.
No, but remember you said that though on one of our shows that Tatum and Brown was better than Clay and Steph.
I said that. I definitely said that. I posted it on my page too.
And who Baller Scoop said he thought you was probably drunk that day.
I don't get how I don't get drunk and that stuff on. I don't do that stuff on All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago, my clean side. If you catch me late night on my other podcast, I'll be acting a damn fool. But this is me and Mark and Libby. This is a family show, so give it 100, baby.
Oh man, say do the shout out, man. Shout outs, man, and then we out of here, man.
Oh yeah, just wanted to say also September 26th is media day for the NBA.
Oh, okay, we'll be definitely tuned in.
Yeah. So we got a bunch of people. Latasha Morris was on here checking us out. Tommy Cunningham on here checking us out.
Brian Williams, Kenny, Hoop Baller Scoop, Ron,
Celestine Liberty.
That's my mom.
Hey, Mom.
My mom came on.
How you doing, Mom?
Dion Hoops Page, Pooh, who I know knows you. Pooh knows you. Pooh, we know you know Bobby Robert Reed. All right. Chris Terrell, shout out, man. Thank you guys always showing love. We gonna keep bringing it to you guys because we love doing what we do now. We love it. All right. So
sorry I'm eating these chips, y'all. I'm just hungry in the hospital.
Yeah, we about to get out, man. So what you about to be on, big homie?
I'm gonna go get me some tea. Tea, like in the South. Yeah, one word. You gonna get some tea? Go give me a guy roll or something, egg roll or something.
Oh, okay. No, Pooh said they from Michigan.
Now let me see.
Oh, they said they watch from work. They watch us from work. I really appreciate that, Pooh. I really appreciate that.
And you know what? We're gonna commit to Wednesdays.
Yeah, definitely.
At this time, y'all, because me and Marcus will wake up and be like, man, let's hop on. I mean, 8:00 in the morning.
Yeah, no, we gonna keep the schedule going just like this on Wednesdays. Make sure you guys share it, subscribe to it, and enjoy it. And I'm hoping everyone having a great day thus far. Continue. Make sure you bless someone. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them. All right, and make sure you keep working. Keep doing stuff that you love to do.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And matter of fact, speaking of that, I got a doggone Massage Envy gift card. I'm finna go give me a massage.
Oh, I thought you was about to give it out on All Ball Chicago. Give it to a lucky winner.
Hell.
All right, man. You go ahead, man. Have a good day, brother, man.
You
stay safe, man. All right.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Peace. One love.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching.
Chicago.